So the way in which we help franchisors predominantly is to work with their franchisees. Start of the process, we're going to work with the franchisor to understand the business. We're going to look at the results of the business of the existing franchisees in their network or their pilot project that they've got. We want to get under the skin of the business. We might spend some time out with an existing franchisee to really understand how that business works. That provides us with the ability to create a template in our own systems of that particular model. Then we can start and work with the franchisees themselves.
One of the things that we will do is we'll help you to make sure you don't, first of all, waste time with somebody that isn't going to be able to ultimately afford to buy your franchise. So we do a qualification phone call, a sort of structured phone call at an early stage, and we establish whether their financial position is such that they're likely to be able to borrow the money that they need. Also that they've got enough contribution themselves, and we get an idea of how much money they need to draw from the business.
Once we've assessed them initially and fed that back to the franchisor, once they're then ready to move forward with the franchise, we're able to start by preparing initially that business plan with them. Using the data and template that we've already created, we can then take the personal circumstances of the existing franchisee.
And we will then make arrangements for a bank manager who is actually a franchise expert who lives relatively locally to them to have that meeting. And we'll prime that bank manager prior to the meeting with the business plan, what the proposition is all about, and we'll also make sure that the franchisee who's going into that meeting understands what they need to say and what they need to cover, and that they actually own the business plan and that they can actually demonstrate an understanding of the financial elements within that.
From a franchisor's point of view, what that's going to do is it's going to collapse the amount of time it takes from the franchisee paying their initial deposit through to being able to start and attend a training school.
Along the way, we'll make sure that we keep you abreast of what's going on, the various different stages. We'll make sure that you're aware of when the business plan actually goes into the bank, and also what the outcome is, what the answer is.
Without using our service, what they tend to do is go out and spend a lot of time trying to put the business plan together. But it's technically not really their background. They've possibly come from a trades environment or a corporate life, so finance may not be their skill set. Also, there's a big difference between a business plan that's prepared for an underwriter at a bank and a business plan that's prepared for the franchisee's own use. And often this is where the problem falls, that the franchisee understands what they want to put together in terms of a business plan, but what a bank underwriter needs to see is a very different document.
We are acting independently, so therefore we're taking away the onus and any potential comeback, if you like, to a certain extent from you if you were to actually prepare or produce the business plan for the franchisee.
So at Franchise Finance, we understand how to take the personal circumstances of the individual franchisee, the lending policies of the banks and finance companies, and the franchisor's business model, and we knit that all together in one comprehensive business plan. And that's what allows us to get a 95% success rate with the finances that we raise.
Franchise Finance's involvement in our business and our franchising has been really, really crucial. It's allowed us to have a level playing field and platform for both franchisor and franchisee to understand each other's cash flow and profitability. I'd fully recommend it because it's the absolute core to the relationship to ensure that both parties understand how much each other are earning and that the business is profitable.
The great thing about using Franchise Finance is it takes a lot of the headache out of leading a potential franchisee through acquiring funds, which is a fairly daunting process, even if you're used to it.
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend Franchise Finance to other franchisors. You know, the guys have done a wonderful job for us over the years. They've certainly helped us fulfill our recruitment goals, if you like, and I would absolutely endorse them 100%.
If I was being selfish, I wouldn't recommend Franchise Finance to other franchisors because I want to keep this is a trade secret to myself. But no, in all seriousness, I think I would certainly recommend Franchise Finance as being part of the process. It helps you as the franchisor really stick to your process because they're not going to bend, and really do the finances stack up, do they make sense? And it's that third party input into that, both from the franchisee's point of view and the franchisor's point of view, that's invaluable. So I don't know what, I think it's a great asset, and we would have used it before had we only known about it.
So I already have recommended franchise finance to other franchisors. In fact, I've been involved with several other franchisors myself, and everywhere that I've been, franchise finance have followed. And I think that's a testament to the value and the quality of service that I've also experienced from them. And of course, in the industry, I mix with lots of other franchisors, and we talk quite freely about suppliers and who we use in relationships. And I readily would endorse and recommend franchise finance to anybody else that's looking for the services that they can provide.